If you have a question for Shavante, please raise your hand. Jen.
Hey Z, how's it going?
Hi Jen, how are you?
Hey, Shavante is going first, and then
So you guys made it safe and sound to Chicago?
Yes, indeed.
Good to hear.
Yes.
You know, I got to ask you about Tina last night, but first I'll ask, you know, have you ever, like, maybe on a bad switch or something in practice had to box out Tina Charles?
Oh yeah, I had to box her out. I have to guard her sometimes. All of that.
What's that
Yeah, I
like?
had my share.
What's it like boxing out Tina Charles?
I mean, it's difficult, aggressive, post player, clearly, but I think one thing for Tina, she know how to work her way around the basket to position herself to get rebounds. So that's a key for us, especially having Tina on this team. But yeah, I had several battles with Tina boxing her out and even playing defense on her.
And she mentioned last night, you know, she gave you credit for, you know, getting her to be aggressive and kind of encouraging her in that way, which we've heard before. That's not totally new, but you know, what did you say to her last night? And was that more before the game? Was that during the game? You know, how'd you get her in the right mindset, I guess?
Honestly, it's just, I think within the flow of the game, if I see Tina lacking when I know she can be more aggressive than she is when I always tend to get on her. I either ask her if she want to, either barbecue somebody or mildewing as they busting her behind. So I think when she hears that approach and hear that, it's like she turns into a whole nother person. So I think for me, it's just, watching the flow of games. I think nobody have to give Tina a prep talk. She know, the position we in. She know, how much we need her. So I think it's just, for me, it's just the positioning of the games when I feel like she's been a little bit lazy and she could be more aggressive.
And you know, for you guys, I don't know if you've talked about much about Chicago yet, or if you're doing film later. But you know, any big keys come to mind for tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I mean, we know Chicago, a very good team. With the addition of Candace Parker, makes them extremely difficult to guard sometimes. But yeah, we kind of familiar with Chicago. Good guards. I think we read a stat when, Allie and Kalia is, up in points, they tend to win more. So I think for us, our main defensive focus is trying to contain the guards. Allie, Courtney, Kalia, and Diamond, when Diamond comes in. I think for us, just to maintain the guards and also control, the inside paint. I think this game is really going, we really have to lock in on defense a lot this game. So, preparation for Chicago is pretty much locking in on, their key players, but also not forgetting, the players that's coming in off the bench.
And then last thing for me, how much have you heard about this mural that that was put up of Tosh at the high school in Maryland? Did you see this on Instagram?
Actually, I didn't know until Tasha told me. So when Tasha, told me, I was like, oh my gosh, why didn't you tell anybody? But clearly she didn't know neither. So yeah, it's pretty dope to see, the impact and the change Tasha has done for our communities. I think she don't get noticed a lot for everything she's doing. But such a dope moment. I think everybody lived for those moments like that. And just to be able to witness it and see it, i.e. saying Tasha, just for her to see it, I'm sure she said she was overfilled with joy, crying, because it's a tremendous thing to see somebody take the time to draw a portrait of you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
that's it, Z. Thank you.
Thank you, honey. Comment, boo. I had media and I just was talking about you.
Jen.
Hey Eric, how's it going?
Hey Jen, I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. Must be nice to be in Chicago and not all the way across the country.
Yeah, a little quicker flight for sure.
What's the outlook or the mindset going into tomorrow, and what are some keys to, you guys being successful against Chicago?
Yeah, we're gonna have to take our defense up a notch. They've really been playing well, scoring well. They've changed their lineup a little bit since the last time we played them. So a lot of similarities, but a little bit different. And yeah, I mean, obviously with Sloot and Candace and Steph, I mean, they're a very good passing team. They get to the rim well. They share the ball. They play with a lot of movement. So you have to really be on point in your communication. Otherwise, they're going to find gaps.
And I was going to ask you how the injuries are looking. Do we know what happened with Erica? Is she good to go?
I think Erica should be good to go. Obviously, it was a good sign that she came back in the game last night. So yeah, I don't foresee any change in her availability.
And Elena and Maisha didn't travel?
Correct.
And anybody else I'm leaving out or unaware of? I always have to ask that now.
Ariel is not with us here.
Right. Yes.
Yep.
Of
So
course.
same as last night.
Gotcha. I guess that's good by the standards of this season for you all.
I guess so. Yeah, that counts as a positive.
And I asked Shavante this too, but just curious if you've ever had the experience maybe on like a bad switch or something in practice of having to box out Tina Charles.
Probably just take a foul. Probably just take a foul or just, be ready to run it the other way.
I know you worked with her for, years and years. So what was your reaction to her moving into second last night in all-time rebounding?
I mean, it's not, she's been on pace for those records since she was a rookie. I don't know if her rookie rebounding record still stands, but I mean, she's from day one, she's always been able to do that. We didn't have much to do with her rebounding ability. But I think just it takes more than people realize to have that longevity to be able to play year in, year out, and bring that every night because rebounding is a lot of anticipation and effort. And you don't get those if you just kind of check out mentally or you're not willing to bring it every night. So I think that's kind of like, I know she talked about Rebecca Brunson last night and Sills obviously up there and some others, people who you think of that have high motors and just high professionalism that allow them to play that long.
And then last thing for me, I know you guys still have 3 games left, but for you personally, are there things that you feel like you've learned from this season with all the injuries and personnel moving around?
I think, we went through it last year, so I'm trying to think if what would be different from this year. Just maybe trying to just have that mentality constantly of you just show up that day, you figure out what you have to work with. Players, if they come in with the right mentality, that they're going to be ready when it's their turn to step up and play. That can carry you through some ugliness. Obviously, it hasn't all gone the way we've wanted, but for the most part, I think we've done a good job of just taking the next challenge that's in front of us, and we've put ourselves in a position, at least with a week to go, to give ourselves a chance to get in the playoffs.
You mentioned last year. Does this feel less injury ridden than last year? More the same?
Feels more injury ridden. In terms of availability, it probably comes out. I mean, it's just hard when you have people that you just knew were going to be out for the entire season last year. That just put it in a different light. We kind of mixed and matched. Oh, Sydney Weiss. We probably mixed and matched mid-season last year when we got to the deadline and stuff, a little differently than we did this year. But this year it's been more like we don't know from night to night who's going to play. So that's more challenging in a way, but it also, there's a chance for us to get some, hopefully get some people like Maisha maybe ready at the right time as we get into the playoffs.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Thanks, Eric.
Oh, that's it. All right. Bye, Jen.
You're fine. You're the expert here.
Jen.
Hey Sid, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. Glad you guys made it to Chicago without any trouble.
Yes, me too. Me too.
How are you guys feeling, having won last night and now you've got another game coming up real quick and kind of building off of that momentum? How are you guys feeling going into Chicago?
Good. I think, getting that win, it's huge for us, especially with playoffs coming up. Each game is important. Each moment is important. And so I think sometimes when you go through a stretch where you're simply trying to find a win and you get that, it feels good. It's like a breath of fresh air of like, all right, let's continue off of this momentum. And I know Chicago is another, each team in this league is tough, and we have today to prep to take care of our bodies. And then once it's time to suit up tomorrow, we go back to war. And so I think last night will definitely help us carrying that into tomorrow's game.
And what went through your head when you heard that Tina Charles moved into second all time in rebounding and literally has thousands of rebounds?
A lot work. I think the product of her work is being recognized now. That's a legacy that we're talking about right before our eyes, and she's not done yet. That's the craziest part to me, is like she's second all time and she's not even done yet. And it's so cool to witness that, to have been a part of that, and to see that, and to see her work throughout the course of the season. And then obviously everything that she's done before this season that got her here. And so I think it's just a testament to the work that she's been putting in since she got to the league.
Yeah, she and Silk could set that bar real high.
Yeah, good luck to everybody else who tries to follow in those footsteps.
And then just wanted to ask you, I know that LaToya isn't with you guys right now because she's about to have her baby, but what has Toya been like as a coach throughout this season, and how has she maybe helped you?
She has a unique voice because she's fresh off of playing. And she's played within this organization. So she has a great understanding of the game within itself, but then understanding what we are trying to do as a group. And so she has a credible voice, not that our other coaches don't, but being out there and experiencing a championship and experiencing tough losses and things throughout the course of a season, seeing these different matchups, seeing all the specific details that she's experienced, she's been able to bring that to the table for us, which has been really beneficial. For me, being a new person within the organization, she's been able to provide that perspective of a player who has been in this position before.
And I'm jumping around kind of a lot. I apologize, but for you
That's okay.
personally, are you planning to go overseas this off season, or what are kind of your goals and plans?
Yes, I'm going to Italy to play.
Nice. New team, same team as before?
Different team. This will be my first time playing in Italy.
Well, eat all of the Italian food for me. That sounds.
You don't have to tell me twice.
That sounds great.
Thank you.
And then last question for me, I asked Shavante this too, but curious if you have caught wind of this mural of Tosh that went up the other day, and kind of what your thoughts are on that.
It's tough to put it into words. I know that I've always appreciated Tosh's passion and her voice. She's always been vocal about things that are way bigger than basketball. And so once more, this is also a testament to her heart. And I think she wears it on her sleeve. She's passionate about so many things outside of the game, but she uses the game as her platform to drive the voiceless, to be a voice for the voiceless in so many ways. And to see her honored in a way that is almost like immortal. Like, I know you can paint over things, but like, that's like an immortal type mural that you see. And I know it made her emotional. I got chills when she was telling me the story. I know the work, the passion, the drive, her whole heart is in these projects and in the kids, and people. She loves people. And I think that mural is just a small glimpse of how big her heart is. And it's so cool to see it come to fruition, and she deserves that, and she deserves more. But I know that that's a really powerful testament to who she is.
Thanks, Sydney.
Thank you so much.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sid. And Jen, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice night.
Sounds good. You too. Thank you.
No problem.